Hello, everyone. I am Drew Donovan, and have you ever wondered what school was like during the 1960s? Well, hopefully, the interview with my grandma, Jamette Donovan, will shed some light on this situation. First, I will go over her normal day of school along with some stories that she told me. Jamette told me that when she started school, she had to walk every day. Not only that, girls also had a strict dress code where they had to wear dresses every day and they had to be past their knees or longer. They could wear no short skirts at all. There was no such thing as leggings back then or any of that stuff. And also during this time, she complained about how it could be really cold or how the weather could be bad and she would still have to walk to school in that dress. And they also walked home to have lunch, which I found to be very interesting. And then they would walk back to school and have kind of a recess before school started back up again. So the faster you got back, the more recess you got. Another thing was that they had wooden paddles for punishment for the children, and they also did not need parents' consent to use these paddles on the children. And they would also do chores for the teachers, or they would sit outside in the hallway in a chair for discipline, but there was no real detentions back then. My grandma also said they had to write everything by hand and they had to do their essays in black ink, unlike how we did it, our essays, how we typed them on the computer, or how we would write problems on a smart board, while she had to write problems out on a chalkboard. Also, she talked about how the cafeteria food was all homemade, but she also said that it was still not that good. They would have things like ham and green beans, or like Salisbury steak and mashed potatoes, but they didn't have pizza at all, and they didn't have packaged goods at all, like packaged donuts or Pop-Tarts, or things along those lines. I think she also told me that there was no snacks allowed. The only thing that they could really get was in the mornings, and you'd have to bring 25 cents to school in order to get one of the paper packaged milks in the morning. And one of her classmates would run down to the cafeteria, get milk for everybody, and bring it back on like a little cart, and then run it back down. I also think the most unique thing she told me was that prom night was an all-day event for her class. She would go to the bowling alley, and then after that they would settle down and watch a movie, and then when they got closer to nighttime they would go to a reserved hall, which was different from the high school, and they would have their school dance and music there. So with that being said, all I know is I'm glad I didn't go to school back then, because I probably definitely would have got the wooden paddle. I'm not proud to say that, but it probably would have happened. And it does seem like it was a more self-sufficient time and more communal compared to now. But I am also happy with the time we live in and how far we have came as humans. And thank you all for listening.